Before you start your application, it's important to season your brand new brush. To season your brush, take the lid of your first and last and a small bead of gel on the tip of your brush. Be careful not to get your gel everywhere. Your bead goes into the lid and you gently rotate your brush into that bead of gel until it's loaded into your bristles. From that step, we go to your nail wipe and your after wipe. Your after wipe is your cleanser. It's important to take the film of gel off the outside of the brush with a wet nail wipe. Gently fold your wipe over your bristles and pull, and your brush is now seasoned and ready to work with. Be sure not to be too aggressive and take all that gel out of the brush. It needs to remain in the brush. In your kit, you will receive a plastic practice finger, and with that plastic finger you have a pack of tips. Taking one of those tips, take a pair of scissors and gently snip the corners of your tip. This will allow it to fit into your practice finger. And you will also want to cut the tip to an appropriate length to be able to practice your application on. Just like that. Pinching that tip, holding the finger with what we call an overgrip, you slide your tip into the channels, which we call the growth channels of your practice finger. At this point, we're going to apply first and last with what we call a pillow. A pillow requires a very light, even, gentle touch. You pick your bead of gel up out of your pot, put the empty side to the ceiling, break the tail off and bring it back in. You'll see that gel come up into a bead on the tip of your brush. Notice that it does not run. Picking your finger up, you will first brush your bead gently through the body of the nail and then come to the edge of that application and gently press and rotate your brush up the side. If you look closely, you will see a round edge on your first and last. This is called a dam, or what we refer to as the dam. It holds the gel in place. Don't overwork your gel. That's as easy as it is. If you look at the shine on that gel, you'll see a rounded edge all the way around. That gives you control. Once you've accomplished this, you know that you've got your application of your first and last down pat. From here, we're going to move to your snow application. So at this point, take a clean nail wipe, moisten with after wipe, and gently wipe that gel off of your brush. Make sure you don't take all the gel out of your brush as we've seasoned it to hold the bristles together. Discard your nail wipe and take that tip, and you can take your gel off of that tip and wipe it back into your pot. Okay, the next step is to apply your snow. And to do that, we're going to prep our tip by placing it again, remember, in the growth channels. Snip the corners. Make sure it slides in. And that you can secure it. The next thing is picking your length that you want to sculpt. It's important not to sculpt too much length, so about 1/2 inch or so. Make your snip, take your tip and cut it straight across. Now to make it easier to place a smile line, we want to place a black line with a simple marker. So take a marker and simply draw a line in a curve underneath the tip, about 1/4 inch away from the free edge. So you want to measure that and get it all set up like so, and you're ready to sculpt your snow. Remember, these tips are hard to work with because it's not a real life finger. If you have somebody with a little bit of a free edge, or even on yourself, you can do this on a natural nail and wipe it off. In the meantime, we're going to do our snow with our practice finger. Open your pot, place your lid aside, make sure you don't get sticky everywhere, and it's best to hold the pot in your hand while you're taking your gel out of your pot. You kind of tease the tip of your brush until you can pop up a bead of gel. Pull it up, create a string, come to the edge of your pot and break that and bring it back in. Notice that the snow does not run. This is a non-self-leveling gel. It's going to stay exactly where you put it. Therein the challenge of your application. Pick your finger up, take your bead of gel. You should have one side clean, the side to the ceiling, and your brush should be flat. You're going to place your bead of gel off center and flatten your brush out as you press lightly into the bead and then release your pressure. We're going to do 2 movements. First is a circle, and that circle moves your product. As you get to the edge of your tip, turn your brush in your fingertips, little tiny press and a lift, and draw that brush straight out. And you can see how that circle moved my gel very smoothly from center to edge. When you look at it from the side, you'll see it's a little uneven. You still have some gel on your brush. Touch again to your snow, lift your pressure, keeping your brush very flat, and now we're going to tuck and pull. Tuck and pull lengthens your gel application. We've accomplished half of the free edge with one bead. You can see it's very flat and it's very smooth. Circle to move, tuck and pull to smooth. Going back to pick up a second bead to accomplish the other half of your free edge. Pick your pot up, tease a little bead onto your brush, pop it up, break the tail on the edge of your pot, so touch and bring back. Remember, it's important not to get sticky while we're doing this, and you don't want to put bubbles into your white, so don't bounce around too much. Keep that bead like a Dairy Queen, little curly Q, and empty side to the ceiling. Pick your finger up, place your bead at the connection point where you finished off, manipulate it slightly, little circle to smooth it in, lift your finger, flat brush, circle, 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 rotating the brush on its edge as you get to the edge of that fingernail, little tuck, release your pressure and draw it straight out. Smooth, smooth. Now, if we notice from the side view, it's empty. See the shine? This isn't long enough. Now we have to do a tuck and pull. So we keep our brush very flat. Don't go into your product. Stay flat. Touch that white and tuck and pull. Tuck and pull. Feather light pressure, otherwise you'll make dips and divots and uneven application, which is fine. You can file it. Don't look for perfection immediately. Thin, smooth, even. Now we have to do a smile line. And you can see my bead is off on that black smile line, yet it follows on this one. That's not unusual. Don't worry about it. We're going to wipe a smile line now. So we're going to take a clean wipe, saturate it with After Wipe, and gently wipe your brush. Gently. You want to keep its form and shape. Now to do a smile line, my tip is popping out here, so I've got to just manipulate it a little bit and get it back into place. There we go. And I'm going to use the left edge of my bristles, connect with the center, and sweep my bristles along that black line as close as I can. My finger's a bit in the way with this tip. Now I'm going to turn my brush over to its right edge, connect with my gel, and just sweep and twist my brush as I get to the edge. And there's this technique of a smile line. Try to get it as even as you can, following that black line as close as you can. And that's your snow application. Once you're finished, you can wipe this snow back off that tip and pop it back into your container. This will conserve your product, or you can simply discard the tip. Make sure you don't get sticky. Take another After Wipe, nail wipe with your After Wipe. Make sure the threads of your jar are clean. Remember, the sticky can cause contact dermatitis, so it's important to be very, very particular about keeping your work nice and clean. We're just going to discard this, pop our lid back on our container, and there you have it, first and last in snow with your Nail Basics gel brush, your practice finger, and your tips.